Anything else you want to talk about?
No, because I can get what I want to talk about with that.
Okay, perfect.
Me,
Yeah, so we can test your audio.
you can make sure that I, 1, 2, 3.
I know. I was like, oh, I guess I do need a mic cover. Okay. All right, we are live meerkatting from HIMSS 15 in Chicago at the Get Real Health booth, Exhibit Hall B, 8736, and we're here with Dr. Kathy Nieder. So I guess you were yesterday at the patient engagement symposium. Tell me a little bit about what you learned. What were people talking about there yesterday?
Well, there were several different people that were there speaking. There was Amy Gleason, who talked about her daughter's issues with portal. She's a young woman with a rare disease, and she has 9 portals. So you can imagine how difficult it is for her to try to access her health information with 9 portals and 9 passwords and trying to collate all that data. So her mother has helped her through that, but it's very difficult when she goes from one provider to another. And when we're talking about patient engagement, how difficult is it to be engaged in your care when you go to see a new provider, and every single time you go, you have to tell them again what your medicines are, what your disease process is, what's happened when, for the last whatever number of months or years, when they ought to have that easily accessible. And easy accessible to the patient as well, because not only can the physician not access it, the patient can't access it without going through all these kind of crazy manipulations of the online arena.
We talk about all the time the importance of patient engagement, and we have this great technology. But what's the gap? Like, what are the problems that, because when you're saying like 9 portals, if you, how can anybody manage that? Plus you're sick, you're not feeling well, if you're a patient, if you've got a chronic condition, and then you're a doctor, and you are trying to look at the patient as a whole, and you got to know what the other, 5 doctors might be doing, right? So how do we solve like this problem? What, from a physician standpoint, what do you think that we need, or what do you think that would help doctors help patients?
Well, we talk about interoperability, and I think that's certainly absolutely necessary. I need to be able to talk to the healthcare system across the town's EHR so that I can get that information. But I don't think that's going to change until the patient is given control of their information. When the patient can access their information and collate that, then I think you're going to see vendors. I mean, when we make that necessary, then the vendors have to change so that patients can access their information. And then I'll be able to see what I need to see.
So do you almost think that the the swell needs to come from the bottom up, from the patients demanding, and then the industry will respond, and then the doctors will be able to, provide better health care to the patient?
Yeah, we can talk about putting the patient in the center, but until the patient actually gets in the center, nothing's happening. Nothing's going to move. And I do think that patients, the e-patient movement, Gina Holiday and e-patient Dave, those individuals are really pushing for changes, but I think that it needs to come from them, because while we're all patients, until we're in that situation, we don't really understand what it means to be unable to access your records, unable to access your physician.
And you deal with those patients who are probably struggling, right?
All the time, sure. Family practice and primary care, of course I do. Or they come in and they've left the hospital with 18 papers of discharge summary, instructions. And they're just looking at it going, could you tell me if there's anything in here that's important? And I look at it and go, not really.
Yeah.
And that's not patient-centered care. That's people who are doing things because that's what the regulations say that they have to do. But there's maybe 10 sentences in those 18 pages that have anything to do with true patient care.
Yeah. And then the CMS, of course, had the new ruling about changing, right, from 5% you download, transmit to a single patient. Any reaction on that, or?
Yes, I think that if anybody's already heard about Farsad's encouragement for Data Independence Day, and then I think Regina Holiday came up with the idea of July the 4th, and I don't know if that's a set date for patients to go out there and tell systems, I want my data, and I want my access to my medical record, and all doing that on one day. I think that's terrific. I was in another session where the presenter thought that all we have to do is to be able to turn this on, and that's enough. We don't, as physicians, you might not be able to help your patients. You can't be judged on something that your patient has to do. That's not entirely true. You look at studies, those places that get the best portal engagement are places where physicians are really encouraging their patients to do that. So it is partly on us to do that, to take hold of that piece. So no, I don't like that one. 5%'s low, but 1 is terrible.
Yeah. You've been here at HIMSS 15. What's the most exciting thing, or the thing that seems to be encouraging you the most of maybe the path forward, or the direction that you see we're going?
Well, I think it was very encouraging to hear the CEO of Humana this morning in the keynote talk about moving things in a consumer-oriented fashion. And I'm not fond of the word consumer because to me that has a lot of negative connotations. But that's who he takes care of, are members that are consumers of his product. And absolutely to see one of the big healthcare or insurance companies that wants to be a healthcare company come out and state that. And I live in Louisville, so I have a little bit more interaction with the Humana folks, and I know that they really kind of mean that, which is kind of exciting.
When you hear the word patient engagement, I'm sort of asking everybody this question, what does patient engagement mean to you personally?
As a primary care physician, patient engagement is the patient who comes in and who's actively interested in their health, in either getting better or making their life better by trying to make improvements in their lifestyle, in their adherence, all those buzzwords that we talk about. That's an engaged patient, and it's going to make my life a whole lot easier.
Yeah, I guess as a primary care physician, some doctors are a little fearful of the technology, or there's been some resistance, but you sound like, open arms. You really want this because it will help you help your patients.
Well, I think that, especially as a primary care doctor, we are constantly asked to do things for which we do not get paid. So when you come to a doctor and say, okay, now we want you to interact with your patients using a portal, their first thought is, oh, yay, something else I have to do that I'm not going to get paid for. And what I have found, because I've been doing it in my system, I'm actually the only physician in my system that has used a patient portal with the patients, is it actually cuts down on the phone calls. It cuts down on the misunderstandings because it's me directly with the patient. We're not playing rumor, where they go through the front desk and then they go through the MA and then they come to me and then they go back to it's straight with me. We have better communication, and I think it actually saves time in the long run.
Wow, so you really, in your personal experience, saves time, improves care?
Absolutely.
Well, great. Thanks so much for sharing your very important, valuable feedback.
Okay, thank you for asking.
That was terrific.
How was that?